so we'll be talking about number patterns today and how to use the calculator to actually find out the n square sequence. Okay, so first let's start off with the basics. So let's say we are given a number pattern with a common difference. By common difference, it means that when you are looking at the pattern, it increases by a plus that is common. For example, plus 2. Okay, so in this case, the sequence 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 follows a plus 2 sequence. Okay, and if it's a plus 2 sequence, then we think of the plus 2 sequence plus 2n, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on and so forth, right? The 2n sequence, actually, when we are taking a minus 1 of it, we will get 1, 3, 5, 7, and then we'll get 9. So, in other words, the final sequence is 2n minus 1 will then give me the 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on and so forth, right? So another way to see this is if we were to think of it as a formula, because if we are talking about any sequence that has a plus common difference, for example, if it's a plus d, okay, plus difference, okay, then we will call it a plus b n. Okay, where b is actually the common difference. Okay, because when we are looking at the n sequence, a plus n sequence means that you are adding a common difference. Okay, so for n, what does n represent? N represents the number of times you add the common difference. So for example, the question is then, what is the 10th term? Okay, in the 2n minus 1 sequence, which we just saw. Okay, then the 10th term is when n is 10, meaning that the number of times that I added 2 is 10 times. Okay, then I will take 2 and I substitute the value of n, right, into the sequence, and I will get 20 minus 1 equals to 19. Okay, so that will then give me the value of the term, the 10th term in the sequence, right? So the formula follows as such: a, which is the 0th term, okay, means the term before the first term, and then you add the difference times n. Okay, let's take a look at the calculator, because given an n square sequence, many of us are unable to actually find the value of the sequence. Okay, switch on, and then I'm given the front page. Okay, I go to menu, okay, and then I press 3 and 3 to get to the setting for the number sequence. Okay, this one doesn't really matter if, let's say, the frequency column is present or not. 1, 2, 3. Okay, for the first 3 terms in the sequence, you go first, second, and third. Then you click and key in the 3 terms in the sequence. For example, the sequence goes like 1, 5, and then 7. Okay, how do I find the n square? What is the sequence in terms of n, right? How do I find the sequence in terms of n? I will then press option and I press 4. Okay, 4. Option 4. And this is actually the sequence in terms of n. Okay, then you may be asking, why is it A, B, and C? Okay, So let's take a look at y equals to a plus bx plus cx squared. Okay, it actually represents the n sequence, because if we just replace x with n, then we will get it in terms of n squared. So if a is equal to -5, then we just substitute it in. B is equal to 7, so we just substitute the 7 in. And then C is equal to -1, so we substitute the -1 in. So what is the sequence 1, 5, 7? Okay, where we have plus 4, and then we have plus 2, which is then giving a double difference of -2. Okay, this sequence 1, 5, 7, which is an n squared sequence, is actually -5 plus 7n minus n squared, and that is the sequence in which we can get in terms of n squared using the calculator.